Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Dark Souls tutorial run series. In this episode we will be going through none other than Blighttown. Now, Blighttown can be quite troublesome for people playing through the game for the first time, which is why I usually take a different route. Because there is two ways you can take into Blighttown, but for the sake of first time players, I'll be going through the original, or probably the most used for first time players. So you're just coming back down into the depths here, and this time we're going to be heading straight on through these iron bars over here, just past the merchant. And after we killed the gaping dragon, we would have got the Blighttown key. So just go and open that door up. Now, there are a few enemies going through this first section here. So what you want to do is just take a left and go to this ladder here. Make your way down. Now, this can be quite good if you've got ranged attacks. You could lure enemies over here and try and use like ranged weapons or whatever to try and pick them off if you don't feel like dealing with them head on. So yeah, you can have these big tubby guys with the clubs. They're quite easy to get round. Obviously fighting them up here is a bit risky as there's not a lot of space. So I wouldn't really recommend fighting them on such a small platform, but if you're able to outmaneuver them, you're going to have a pretty easy time dealing with them. One thing I should also mention is that their clubs do also deal poison damage, so just be careful that you don't get hit by them too much. As you'll see, there's two more down here. There's a little bit more space to move around now at least, so that's good. But I don't want to be fighting two at once. So yeah, once again, just separate them, fight them one at a time. Avoid the attacks. Backstabs are going to do big damage, especially if you've got, quite a strong weapon like I have here. Well, I say strong. It's strong for now. I think this will be like the last episode I'll be using this weapon in. Well, up until I'll use it for a bit of the next video as well, but yeah, we'll see what we change to. But yeah, once again, got another guy over here. Now you have got to be a little bit careful here because you might notice it as I'm fighting this guy. You might see a bit of movement in the background. That there are some other enemies trying to make their way up here. So I've got to make sure I finish them off quite quickly just to make sure that I'm ready for the next enemies that come this way. Which I am able to do. I thought I was going to hit me then. So yeah, we'll deal with him. They always seem to drop dung pies. I don't know if that's like a guaranteed drop thing or if it just sometimes happens, and I was kind of lucky enough to get the drops. But then you've got these guys. I don't know what their names are. But yeah, they're pretty easy to deal with. Once again. Another thing you need to be careful for, as you see, I just got hit by a dart. You got these like little wooden ninja fellows. So they'll shoot these darts at you, toxic darts with blowpipes. And the only way you can cure that, I think, is if you have a spell for it. I think you can actually find that spell somewhere in Blighttown. Or if you've got these... I can't remember the name of it. I think it's blooming purple moss, if I remember correctly. But it looks like purple moss, but it's got these like white little twinkly things or whatever coming off of it, I think. But the good thing about this is when you kill those guys, they won't respawn, so you've only got to fight them one time, which is really helpful. Because the last thing you want is to be constantly putting up with them when you're trying to run through an area. So yeah, like I said, quite a few enemies in this little section here. Yeah, you get another one sneaking up on you there, so watch out for that. I'll admit, there's a few bits that I do miss out on in this video, because I don't think I got everything in this area, and there are other places to explore that lead to different sections. But right now we're just focusing in on Blighttown, and in future videos I might go over some of the side areas possibly. So this guy I went to go kick him off the edge, but realised, yeah, wasn't close enough. Made myself look a right muppet. Yeah, once you do that, you don't have to come down this section. This is also another way you can take if you don't want to deal with the big guys. I think you can, like, run and jump down onto the platform below, but then you've still got to fight through all these other guys. So, and you don't want to run the risk of, like, falling and dying. So this is one of the ways you can take to the left here. As you can see, just across from me, there's an item. If you make that jump, I believe it's a Yuchi Katana or whatever it's called up there. So that's one of the ways you can take. Again, a little bit risky. But then, as you can see as well, excuse me, there's also a few, like a little pathway here you can take. There was a second pathway that was like a bit more of a lighter shade, but I think that actually starts moving a bit if you go across it, so you want to be careful with that if you do end up taking that one across. You drop down here, you've got a guy waiting for you, slap them about. And then there's another item down here. Now just be careful, because I think if you drop down on that, it will break and drop you down below. And then we just go across the platform here. We've got a guy trapped in a pot. Might as well slap him about for a few extra souls. And there's another guy up here as well. So yeah, just a lot of fighting in this area. Which honestly, I thought I was gonna die going through this area, but surprisingly, I actually do pretty well with everything. Because I usually end up avoiding taking this route to get into Blighttown myself, just because I'm like, it cuts out a lot of faffing about, but I actually do pretty well with it. And yep, once again, another guy running up on us. Deal with him. I think there's another enemy that we run into fairly soon, which they can be a bit dangerous because they have fire attacks, but they're not too bad to deal with as long as you're able to get your hits in. They're quite small. Yeah, there it is. You just got a glimpse of it there. You'll see it in a second. Yeah, it's these little, like, tiny fire dogs. I think they're dogs. Which, they don't have much health, and you can block their attacks, but they do also have a fire-breathing attack, so just be mindful of that. And as you can see, there's another guy somewhere around here that's trying to hit me with the darts. So, if you're going to come down here, I'd recommend stocking up on a few of those blooming purple mosses. Just so if you get hit with a toxic, it's not going to be guaranteed death and you'll be able to make a quick recovery. Which is why I also recommend, whilst going through this area, keeping the purple moss and the blooming purple moss in your hot bar, down with like your Estus flask and everything. So at the moment I'm just looking around because it's been a while since I've been down this section, so I'm a little bit unfamiliar with everywhere that I'm going, or where I'm meant to be going, sorry. Another item over here, what are we grabbing? Soul of a Proud Knight, so again, got some cheeky souls there for leveling up. I can't remember how much a Soul of a Proud Knight gives you, as I always seem to have a really bad habit of stockpiling souls, which I suppose is good if I need to buy something, or if I'm like, I feel like I'm pretty weak, so I need to level up, or, do some weapon upgrades, or whatever. But other than that, yeah, it's if you want to use them right away, then you can, but I prefer holding on to them, because you never know when you're going to end up dying and losing them. So for me personally, just, there we go, got hit with toxic again. Luckily, I've got one more blooming purple moss, and I was an idiot and not putting them in my hotbar, like I just recommended. But luckily, I'm quite quick with the menu opening and stuff, so finding the item was pretty easy. And I wasn't taking I was still taking a bit of damage, but I wasn't just having my health completely drained really quick. And yeah, I got more things. It's a lot of fighting, like I said, through this area. I think for a little bit here, I do get a little bit confused where I'm supposed to be going. I end up going down a ladder, and I'm like, oh, well, look around here. But I feel like, yeah, I think this is a section here. I'm looking around. One thing to mention, because I did like realise this in the videos that you always want to look for the torches. The torches usually seem to point out where there is a ladder. So as you can see, there's another torch just over there in front of us. To the side, sorry. Is that also? Oh, that's like okay. You know what? These little torches. They seem to actually be like attached to the ladder, which doesn't seem very safe. Now that I think about it, got another soul down here. Down here, you've got another one of those big guys of the clubs. You've also got this big. Well, I don't even know what that is. Like creature behind, which I think I'll be going down and fighting it in a moment. But I pick it off from a distance with a bow. As I don't know if getting close to it, I think it can still fight you, but I don't know if that's the case when you're on the other side of it. So, yeah, excuse the creaking, that'll be in my bed. So yeah, fight them. I'm looking around a bit just to make sure that I've not missed any other things or like items. I see it as a ladder up here, and I think I'm trying to remember where this takes me. It either takes me to an item or it takes me to another one of those toxic dart fellas. Oh yeah, there we go. Look, sneak up behind him. So the more of them you deal with, the easier time you're gonna have being able to wander about and not having to worry about getting poisoned or anything. So we'll come up here. Is there an enemy up here? Yeah, there is an enemy up here. So he actually knocks himself down, but manages to land on the ledge and survive. So at first I'm kind of questioning him, like, is he going to come up the ladder, or do I just like wait? I don't really know what to do. But yeah, he ends up coming up, so I'll slap him on the way up. And jobs are good. And right from here, climb down the ladder. Now you don't have to do this section. Like, this is a purely optional thing. It does help you get a pyromancy though, without having to worry about getting killed by whatever creature that is down there. I don't know what their names are, so you know, if someone does know, leave their name in the comments. And yeah, we go. We've got the bow equipped, and from here, I'm probably going to speed this part up just because it's going to be boring just sitting here watching me shoot arrows. Which doesn't take too long to kill him, but still, it's not very entertaining to watch now, is it? So yeah, just in a second here, just a few more arrows, and there we go. It does take a little bit, so if you've got any stronger ranged weapons, or if you want to risk going in there with melee, then you can. Like I said, I don't know if it can hit you whilst you're behind it, so I just wanted to play it safe. And there we go, get the pyromancy power within. Now, I can't really remember what that does. I should have had a look at it once I picked it up. Even in one of the future videos, I should have been like, oh yeah, I'll have a quick look at this, but I haven't, so I'll get around to it at some point, I'm sure, so long as I remember. And yeah, coming back down this way, I'm going to find a ladder that leads a little further down. We're just going to take that, and yes, behind us, head through the fog wall, and we are a little bit closer to our next destination. Got some more ladders to go down. Here you'll run into another type of enemy. One or two different types of enemies, I believe. So there you can see a little fire glowing in the distance. That is an enemy. There is a path, a little bit you can balance across there. I'm not sure if there is an item on the other side, but I really didn't want to risk going across there and having to run through all that again, which admittedly probably wouldn't have taken too long, but I just wanted to get through this area for the sake of the video. So you've got this guy, which they're pretty easy to deal with, but again, they do have like a fire breathing, like fire whip attack. So if you've got a low resistance to fire damage, you're probably going to take a good chunk of damage fighting that thing. And then we've got another poison dart fellow up here who's going to keep shooting us. So make sure you've got a good shield out, or just a shield so you can block as many of the attacks as possible without taking any toxic damage. And then back down this way. Is there another? Yeah, another ladder up ahead. And And there we go. And got another one of those weird... I don't know what these are supposed to be. I'm not sure if they're like older versions of, or like bigger versions of another enemy you can find later on in the game. But these enemies have always confused me a little bit, like, thinking about it, because it's like Blighttown, but then it's got all these like fire-breathing bugs in it, and I feel like these enemies should have been in a different area instead of Blighttown. You've also got these like little mosquito-type enemies that keep flying about the place and spraying you with like blood or poison or whatever it is. So they could be a little bit annoying. But yeah, you want to come into this tunnel just down here, follow the way that I go, and you'll find this bonfire. Now, I'd recommend, if you've got the humanity for it, kindling at this bonfire, just so you get 10 Estus instead of 5, because we're not too far from the boss fight now. I also take this time here to just have a look at leveling up a bit, so I'm just going to fast forward this bit again, because I think it takes a little bit of time to decide here. Well, I'm having to record this bit for the... God, no, I don't know how many times I've had to record this now. Literally got past this section, and I was like, right, yeah, that's good, and then I accidentally delete the wrong bloody voice line, so having to do this again. So what you want to do is make sure you've got some purple moss on you, as the water here is going to do poison build-up. Make sure you don't use your blooming purple moss, as you want to save that specifically for the toxic build-up and the toxic damage. And as you can see here, I get invaded by the Dark Spirit Manny and Mildred. But they're pretty easy to deal with. The guy, well, actually, that was kind of a quick swing there, but they don't have any armor on, so they've not really got much protecting them other than a wooden shield and a massive meat cleaver. So all it takes is like 2 backstabs and 2 smackaroonies, and they go down. But the cool thing about this boss fight is not only does it give you 3 humanities after beating her, you also get her weapon as well. So you get the butcher's knife, which I don't know what the stats are on this weapon, so I don't know what the scaling's like, but I think it'd be a fun weapon to try use at some point, possibly. So yeah, as you see there, I also get poisoned. Now at this point, you don't want to panic during this section, because you're going to need your stamina for getting through this. So the swamp slows you down quite a bit. There was an important ring I was meant to go over, but I forgot to include it in the video. But if you get the rusted iron ring, I believe it is, you can use that to get through the swamp much quicker. And as you can see, you've got these big boys trying to throw their boulders at me, but if you just time your rolls well, you'll avoid the attacks. And then once you get onto dry land, you can just sprint into the opening up here. And once you're far enough down, they're not going to follow you in, so you can use your purple moss to clear up your poison. And you don't want to fight the enemies down here, as they really aren't worth it, and it's more hassle than it's worth, and they're not going to attack you, so you can just run by and not have to worry about being attacked. From this point, I was trying to check and see if I had anything to kind of give me like an edge with like fire resistance or anything, but I'm early on in the game, I don't have that much armor, so I'm not going to have a whole lot of stuff that can really protect me too well. But I won't need it, as I actually do quite well with this fight. And we're going to get done looking through my armor. There we go. So, also, when you beat Manny and Mildred, she will show up as a summon, so she can help out with the boss fight, which is pretty cool. And if it's your first time playing through Dark Souls, then I do recommend summoning her, as having someone to take the heat off for a bit when you need to back off and heal is pretty useful. And she surprisingly does do a decent amount of damage. But I'm going to shut up now, and I'm going to let you watch the cutscene. So here we are in the Chaos Witch Quelaag boss fight. Now, there's a few things I should mention here. First of all, she does have a attack where she'll spit out lava. And well, I think she has two. She's got that one where it's just the one, and then I think there's one where she sprays out multiple pools of lava or magma, whichever one it is. And you don't want to get caught in there, as it does quite a bit of damage, as you see from that one hit, where if you're just getting tapped by it, it's not so bad, but if you get trapped in one of them, it's pretty much game over at that point. Another thing, you have the flame sword attack, where it gets quite a bit of reach, so you want to be careful with that as well. And also you don't want to linger around the back too long, because if you're going to try lingering back there to try and get some easy hits in, she will also do an AoE attack, and that can take a good amount of your health down, which you'll see pretty soon actually, because I think I get a bit cocky and I'm like, yeah, keep swinging on her, here we go, yep, and then don't get away in time, and it nearly takes me out. I'm really panicked at this point. I'm like, I need to get his heal off, and then I got hit by that, and immediately I was like, yeah, I'm done for. But luckily she only did the one swing, so I was actually fortunate enough to back off, get my health back up. And this is the one that I was on about, where she sprays out a load of pools of lava or magma, and it can be very problematic, because if you're going to stay in that area or that vicinity, it's going to be really hard to fight her until the pools of lava disappear, as there's not really any room to move about in. As you'll see in just a second, I start backing up to try find open space or roll into one, try walking out the way, end up getting hit like 2 more times by it, and then I'm kind of stuck in this little section here. But luckily she's pretty much dead at this point, so we just run in, get the last few swings in, and jobs are good. I think we also get as well as getting a soul, we get a twin humanity and 20,000 souls that we could use on whatever we want, but I'll be using that on leveling up. I'm just going to fast forward it here right quick, just because it's a little bit of a walk just to get to the next section. And coming through here, we will find the last Bell of Awakening, so go ahead and ring that, and that will open up the next area that we'll be needing to head to. But you don't have to head there right away, and I'm also going to shut up here and let you watch the rest of the cutscene. So coming out of that, you'll receive a homeward bone. Not quite sure where you collect it from, but I think I do know why they give it to you, as I made the mistake of coming down into this section here, which it's not bad to do, don't get me wrong, but I made the mistake at resting at one of the bonfires. Well, actually, I rested at both of the bonfires down here, but I made the mistake of doing that, and it would have saved me a lot more time if I just used a homeward bone to go back to the bonfire and that little sewer tunnel thingy. But it's not bad to light the bonfires down here either, just for the fact that it saves you having to come and do it in the future. And if you get the Lord Vessel, I can't remember if it's this bonfire or the other one that I'm going to go find, where you can just fast travel to that, so instead of having to run through all the poison and stuff again, you can just come straight down here. But I'll try and make sure I fact check that. And once again, I think I'm just trying to figure out what I'm doing for levels here, but I decided, well, I'm pretty close to my weapon goal now, so I'm just going to go with that. From here, I'm going to run back, as there's a hidden wall in this section down here. Oh, well, not in this tunnel, but up ahead, we'll be coming across one. Bloody hell. Why did I not sprint through this section? I'm looking at this now, and I easily could have sprinted through this. So that bit that we stood on there, I think that actually can be used for like a shortcut later on, like a elevator or something. So I'll try that one. Is this wall over here? You hit that, and you come across this fella. You'll talk to him. He'll ask if you're a servant. You want to tell him yes. But he's like, oh, you've not got any eggs. But it doesn't matter. He's like, ah, whatever, mate. Just go see the lady or whatever. I don't know what her name is. I don't know what the name of most of the characters in this game is, but well. So yeah, it'll just awkwardly crawl out the way for you. It takes a bit of time, but you can get around him. There's a bonfire down here, which will automatically give you 10 Estus flasks as the girl down here, or whatever she is, spider lady. I believe she is also a firekeeper. And, you know, it's a little sad because we just murdered her sister, and if I remember correctly, I could be wrong, but I think she thinks that we might be her sister, because I think she's blind, if I remember correctly. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. So it's like, oh yeah, okay, we just murdered your sister, and now you're like, oh, are you my sister? And you're just like, yes, mate, okay, whatever you say, mate. Okay, we're back at the little sewer bonfire here. I was going to fast forward it, but then I realised like how long it took for me to actually get back to the bonfire, so it was easier to just cut here. So also going up this way, you can find a dragon scale. This can be used to upgrade the dragon weapons, such as the sword that we're using here, except I wouldn't recommend upgrading this sword as the scaling is not that good. And there's another dragon weapon you can find, which, whilst it is a bigger, heavier sword, it'll do much more damage, and I'm pretty sure the scaling will be better too. So, once again, running back through this way, just so I can show you the way out of Blighttown, which, if we wanted to, we probably could have taken the same way that we took to get in here, but I really wouldn't recommend doing that, as it's just going to be 10 times longer, and probably more of a pain in the ass to do than actually doing this way. So, coming up here, you're going to find this little elevator section. You want to jump onto one of the platforms, and then ride this up for a little bit until you see a ledge on the side or in front of us, wherever it is. Yep, just up here you can see it coming up. So you want to just make the jump onto that platform. Now, I don't escape from here or leave this area right away, as there is something quite useful that you can get from this area or this section. So you come up here, you're gonna have another one of these little firebug things. But yeah, I think they do look like they would be older versions of another enemy, or bigger versions of another enemy from another section in the game. So you just come over here. I'll keep my shield up here because I don't want to risk getting hit by any of the darts being shot by the little toxic fellas. Again, I don't know what their names are, so I just call them the little toxic dart fellas or whatever. You get an armor set up there, and here you get the sorcery remedy. So if you're playing as a spell user, then that's pretty cool. But then again, it's a sorcery, but it's like, I'd imagine remedy would be something that a cleric or miracle build would use. So if it's a sorcery, then it's a little confusing, admittedly. I'm gonna come up here. Now, I don't think there's anything up on this side. Oh, actually, wait, no, little pathway here. Oh yeah, but no, there is just a dead end, so I'm not entirely sure why that's there. You'd think it'd be some sort of shortcut, but I tried giving it a whack, and even that doesn't do anything. As you see there, I nearly get myself killed by locking onto an enemy that I don't need to be locking onto. So whilst locking on is good for fighting stuff, it can also be a little bit problematic in certain situations as well. But then I'm going to head back down this way, and this is the part where I kind of decide I'm going to go into the little sewer whatever section up there. So find the ladder up. Now this is the ladder you're going to take up in the future if you end up dying, because this will lead you. There's another ladder there. That's what you'd want to take up to continue heading out of the area. But I decided to come in here as there's a bunch of these toxic dart shooters, and I really want to get this guy out of the wall, these guys out of the way, as well as grabbing the item that's down here. So I get hit with toxic, and at this point I'm like, well, I've not got any more of the blooming purple moss, so I just make it my mission to run through here and take out as many of these guys as I can. So yeah, deal with that guy, get another purple moss. And you're able to make easy work of them, which is good. I don't know how you get to that one over there, though. I'm not sure if you have to like make a jump across, or if there's like another ladder or anything. But yeah, I'm happy that I managed to take him out before I get killed here. So yeah, as you can see, that's the fire-breathing attack I was on about with the dogs. So you want to be careful of that. So there we are, back up here. There's only that one left, but they can't really hit me that well from up there, so I'm just going to play it safe, try picking these guys off, but it's hard to separate them, so. And also, it seems like the swinging's a bit awkward with this weapon, so I'm not always hitting my swings. But I think it's more just because of how small they are, so it's. Actually, no, I'm dealing with them quite alright now. But yeah, you've just got to be careful that you're not going to get overwhelmed by them. So I get my souls back. I decide to deal with the one down here. I think matey boy up there tries shooting at me again in a second. Yeah, there we go. Tried, but he bloody missed. And then we've got these two, which, because they're close together, it's a little bit annoying, but we're able to pick them off easily enough. And we get the Firekeeper soul, so that means we can add another upgrade to our Estus flask, so it will give us more health, which is pretty good. So then at this point I just make my way back up the ladder, and this, I believe, is where we finally start making our way out of Blighttown. I've just got to make the run back to the ladder that was, I think it's pretty close to the entry point of this little sewer tunnel thingy. A little bit further ahead, there it is. So you want to head up this ladder and head up the ladder here, and then surprise surprise, ladder number 3. So yeah, a lot of this part is just climbing ladders. I'm not sure if there's any more enemies up ahead, or you got one here. I think this might be the last one we have to deal with for a little bit. We'll deal with them. Also make sure you just have a little look around for any items that you might possibly miss. Especially how there is one down here that you'll need if you haven't got the master's key on you. So I think it's up here. Yeah, you get this chest here. Pop that bad boy open, and you get the key to New Londo Ruins, and that will be the key that you need to be able to get out of this area without having to take the long way back. Or the slightly longer way back, should I say. So then you've got more of these guys. I do try fighting these guys off. At first I have just one at a time, but then I think they both get aggroed on me, and it becomes a bit more of a pain in the ass to try to fight them, so I just play it safe in the end, and I'm just like, it's not really worth it. I don't want to risk, you know, dying when I've come this far and have to make it all the way up again. So deal with him perfectly fine. Get yet another dung pie, and then you want to come up to this section where you've got this fella and another guy, which, as you can see, start fighting him. And it's going well at first, and then his mate gets involved, and I was like, oh, I'm sure if I just time it right, I'll be able to deal with them one at a time again. But no, literally like nearly 3 times in a row he hits me with that one attack. So I'm quite lucky that I managed to heal up when I did. Which is why, if it gets to this point, in my opinion, it's not really worth sticking around. And you just want to get on with it, get a bit of distance, get some healing in, and then keep on going. I was questioning at first. I was like, oh, I wonder if I can bait them a bit further, as I know there's a bridge just a bit further ahead. And I was like, if I can make them kind of go for like a lunging attack or something, they might just throw themselves off of the cliff and then I can get some easy souls. But it don't really work, as they don't come out of the cave, I don't think. They reach a certain point, and then once I go across a bridge, I'll turn around to check, and they all start backing off. At first I was like, oh, here we go, but yeah, there we go. They just start backing off at a certain point, so I gave up on that idea. And then we've got the large soul of, I think that was another nameless soldier one. And you use a key to come down here, and from here it's pretty straightforward. Now I do make a mistake in a second here. Make myself look like a right muppet, so grab this item down here, which is just another soul. I go running up here, and you'll see that I'm like, oh, I'm finally getting out of here without thinking. I just throw myself down the elevator shaft because I was an idiot and didn't pull the lever. So make sure that you do that and you don't do what I just did. So there we go. Get back up here again, and this time make sure that I pull the lever. You have to wait a little bit for it to come down, but it doesn't take too long. So I don't know, watch fucking YouTube shorts or something in the meantime. But there we go. Elevator shows up, and now I'm free to take that back up, and it's very convenient as it'll take us all the way back up to Firelink Shrine. So from there, you can use your Firekeeper soul at the Firekeeper that's just up ahead, which I forgot to do in this part. So I actually did that in the next video. But yeah, at this point, you know, make sure you rest up at the bonfire so you don't have to run through all that again if you die at any point. You can go talk to the guy that sat down here, but he doesn't really provide any useful information or give you anything, so it's not all that necessary. But yeah, we're going to wrap the video up here, so thanks everyone for taking the time to watch the video. If these videos are all helpful or you like them at all, then do feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And, you know, feel free to comment down below if there was anything that you agree with, don't agree with, anything you found useful, stuff like that. And hopefully I'll see you all in the next video.